Hello everyone. Welcome to another new module, Introduction to Java. So in this module, you are going to learn what is Java, the components of Java, and why we should learn Java. In addition, we will also talk about the IDE tools that we can use for Java along with the Java. Okay. So let's get started. So the first thing that we are going to talk about here is what is Java. Okay. So Java, it is a programming language. It is a simple, secure, and object-oriented programming language. This programming language, it is also a platform independent. Okay. And this Java, it is one of the high-level programming language, meaning that it is more closer to human language than the machine language. If it is more closer to the human language, that means it is much more readable and understandable. And let's talk about a little history of Java. So Java, the very first version of Java was released in 1995 by Sun Microsystems. Okay, and it was first developed by those people: James Gosling, Mike Sheridan, and Patrick Naughton. It was created by those three people. And the very first name of this language was Oak. It wasn't named as Java at first. It was named as Oak. Then it changed to Green, and later on it changed to Java. Okay. And the Sun Microsystem, the original owner of Java, was purchased by Oracle Corporation in 2010. Meaning that now, if you need to install Java into your operating system, you need to download the Java, the JDKs from the Oracle's website, because now Oracle is the owner of Java programming language. And why should we learn Java instead of other programming language? What makes Java more special than the other programming language? So there are a couple reasons why we should learn Java, why we should choose Java instead of other programming language. The very first reason is because Java is secure. It is a secure programming language. It was built to include the high level of security. And the second reason is Java is object-oriented programming language. It is object-oriented, meaning that almost everything is an object in Java. Okay? What is object? What is class? You will learn those concepts when we cover the module class and object. When we get to the class and object module, you will have more understanding of what object is. And another reason to learn Java is because Java is simpler. It is a high-level programming language. The high level means it is more closer to the human language. Okay. The fundamentals of Java, it came from the C++ programming language. But C++ was more complex. The syntax, everything was so difficult. Okay. And C++ is not as high a level language as Java is. This Java, it is much more simpler compared to the C++, and it is higher level language. And the another reason that we should learn Java is because it is platform independent. One of the most advantage of Java is. Okay, so Java was written to be portable and cross-platform language. Okay. It does not care about the operating system, hardware, or devices that it is running on, which makes Java more flexible. And there are also a couple more reasons why we should be learning Java. So Java, it is widely used programming language in the industry, okay? Meaning that the demand is high. So learning it can open up lots of opportunities, lots of job opportunities for every programmers. Okay. And Java has a very, another reason is because Java has a vast collection of libraries. Okay. So those vast collection of libraries can help you to accomplish the complex tasks easily and efficiently. Okay. You will see the benefit of those wide libraries of Java. Pretty much everything is ready for you to use, so that you can just call it and use it in your program. Okay. And another reason is Java has a large and active community of developers. What does it mean to you then? If the programming language has a active community, lots of developers, that means there are lots of resources and lots of resources that are available to help you to learn and troubleshoot. Okay, if you it's also going to make it easier for you to troubleshoot the problems that you faced while you are writing your Java source codes. Okay, and the documentation. The Java programming language, the documentation is well defined and provides complete guidance. Okay, it provides the complete guide to help you to solve any problems that you may encounter during your coding. So that's also another benefit of Java. That's why we should go with Java, due to all those advantages and all those reasons. And where Java is mostly used at? Well, Java, it is mostly used at the desktop applications, at the web applications, okay? And it is also mostly used at the mobile application developments, such as Android apps, for example, okay? And it's used in the big data, cloud computing, gaming industries, and it's also used in the enterprise systems. Besides those, many big tech companies in the United States, they use Java as their main primary programming language. Okay, many of the frameworks that the big IT companies are using were built on Java programming language. And now let's talk about the components of Java. So here are the components of Java. We have JVM, which stands for Java Virtual Machine. Then we have the JDK, stands for Java Development Kit, and the JRE, which is the Java Runtime Environment. Okay. So what is this JVM that we are talking about here? This Java Virtual Machine, it is basically an abstract machine. Okay, Java Virtual Machine. And let's see what this Java Virtual Machine does. This Java Virtual Machine, it basically reads the Java bytecodes. The Java bytecodes, it comes from the Java source code, okay? And then it's going to interpret the codes and execute the code at the end. It will execute the code at the end to the computer that you have. And yes, you will get the machine code at the end, or it's also known as the binary code. Okay, so that is what JVM is. And yes, this Java bytecode, it comes from your Java source code. And once you have the Java bytecode, the JVM, it is going to read it. Of course, JVM, it also contains those components, the class loader, interpreter, just-in-time compiler, and also garbage collections. But for now, you don't need to focus on them. While the more new concepts of Java we cover, you will get to know and understand most of those components that are included in JVM. Okay. And the JRE, the Java Runtime Environment. So JRE, it is the implementation of JVM. Okay, it is the implementation of JVM. It is the combination of JVM and the Java libraries. Those JVM and Java libraries are required by the JVM to execute the Java programs that you have. Okay, without the JVM and the Java libraries together, you will not be able to execute the Java program that you have. And here is how this JRE works. Okay, so JVM, it is going to read your Java bytecode and then executes and interprets it and to execute, right? And while it's interpreting and executing it, this JRE, it is going to provide all the Java libraries, everything, all the classes, resources, everything, so that the JVM will be able to read and execute it at the end. And next is the JDK, the next component of Java, which is JDK. So JDK, it stands for Java Development Kit. What is the definition of kit? When you hear the word kit, what comes to your mind first? This the word kit. Toolbox, right? So this JDK, it is basically a set of development tools to write, debug, and compiler Java programs. This toolkit, it provides the environments to develop and run any Java programs. Without this tool, you will not be able to develop and run any Java programs. You need to have this tool. Okay? So all those JRE, JVM, all are included within this tool that can help you to write your codes and then get the Java bytecode, translate the Java bytecode to the binary code to run the program at the end. Okay, all are included in this JDK, Java Development Kit. It's the collection of tools, basically. Okay, so the JDK, couple more things that you need to know about the JDK. This JDK Java Development Kit, it is released under two different licenses. One is open source license. The other one is commercial license. Okay, the one that you will be using later on will be the one that is open source. Okay, and JDK release also categorized as either LTS or non-LTS, the long-term support or the short-term support. Okay. So if you would like to know the long-term support and short-term supports of JDK, please look into the next slide, which contains the JDK version history and everything. And it also includes the release date and extended support until those dates, everything. Okay. So first version of JDK, as you can see, it was officially released on 1996, January 23rd, to be precise. They are already outdated, expired, so it's not supported anymore. So which means you cannot download and use them. Okay. So those, if you look at those version history of JDK, the Java version 5. Okay. Java version 5, it introduced the new versioning system for the Java language. Starting from Java version 5, we had the new versioning system. Before Java version 5, it was always like JDK 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Okay, that was the versioning system for Java language. And after Java 5, okay, we had the new versioning system that's introduced. This correspondence continued through the later releases later on. Okay. This correspondence continued through the later releases like Java 8, Java 10, 11, 6, 7, you know. The versioning system has changed afterwards. And if you need to use the long-term supported JDK, you could go with 8, 11, or 17. Because those versions are the long-term versions. They are, for example, 8 is extended till December 2030. And 11 is extended till September 2026. And JDK 17, it is extended till September 2029. Okay, so until this time, you can continue to use those JDK versions. And this JDK 7 Java 17, it is the latest long-term supported JDK. And that's also the same version of JDK that we are going to use in our Java class. Next, the tools for developing Java applications. So in order to be able to develop Java applications, you need those two tools. One is JDK. It's a must for you to have if you want to be able to work with the Java applications. And the other one is either the IDE tools or the text editor. Okay. One of those are needed in order for you to develop Java applications, either the IDEs or text editors. But we would strongly recommend you to go with the IDEs. Here is the reason why. Okay. First, you need to know the difference between IDE and regular text editor. This IDE, first of all, it stands for Integrated Development Environment. It is a software application that provides comprehensive development environment for Java programming. Okay. And the compiler, debugger, builder, all of those tools are included in this application. And the text editor, in the other hand, it only allows to create and edit the plain text files. It's designed for the plain text files. Okay, it does not include those debugger, okay, compiler, and the builder, those tools. So which means after you are writing your codes in the text editor, you still need to use the command line to give the command for the compiler, debugger, all of them. If you want to be able to compile your codes, you will have to use the command line if you were using text editor to write your codes. Okay? And it's going to be lots of troubles for you. So in order to increase the efficiency for Java programmers, we recommend you to go with the IDE. And yes, there are many different types of IDEs that supports Java, such as IntelliJ, Eclipse, Visual Studio Code, NetBeans. All of those are the IDEs that supports Java. But out of those IDEs, I would recommend you to go with the IntelliJ. Okay? That is the most preferred IDE for Java programmers. Here is the reason why IntelliJ is the best platform, best IDE for Java programmers. So first reason is user-friendly. It is the most user-friendly Java IDEs that we have, which means it's easier for you to use it as well. Okay. And the IntelliJ, one of the things that IntelliJ does the best compared to other IDEs is the smart code completion. It is extremely smart, which can help you to improve your efficiency while you are writing the codes. You don't have to write the entire syntax. This IntelliJ is going to give you lots of available shortcuts that can help you to choose and write the codes in an effective way. Okay. And besides those, it also have refactoring features. When it comes to renaming variables or methods, it's much more easier with the IntelliJ. And the IntelliJ, it has the built-in debugger. It also has lots of plugins that you can just get it from the IntelliJ's marketplace. And IntelliJ, it also has the code analysis as well as the version control support. For example, if you are going to use Git or GitHub, those version control systems later on in the future, you don't have to install on any other tools. You can just use it within the IntelliJ. Okay, so those are the reasons why we are going to go with the IntelliJ. And in order to be able to use the IntelliJ, here's the minimum requirement for your computer. Okay, like it needs to have like at least 2 GB of free RAM. And any modern CPU will work, okay? And here are the requirements for the disk space and monitors, as well as the operating systems. These are the minimum requirements. And for this course, my own recommendation would be, please make sure that your computer has at least 8 GB of RAM. It is recommended, okay? It is going to make your job much more easier, and it's going to make the performance of your computer to be more faster while it's using the IntelliJ. While you are working with the IntelliJ, your computer will not freeze up or anything. So these are our recommendation for your computer. If those recommended recommendations cannot be met, it's still okay to go with the minimum requirements. And here are the few key takeaways from this module. So you need to know that first you need to know what Java is. It is a simple, secure, object-oriented programming language. And make sure that you also know the components of Java, such as JDK, JRE, JVM, and what they are for. In our next module, you will be installing those tools that are needed for Java, the tools that are needed for developing Java applications, such as JDK and the IntelliJ IDE. See you all in the next video.